Well, good afternoon, and my name is Lynette Bell. I am president of the Truist Foundation. Welcome back. How have your sessions been so far? Awesome. For those who don't know, Truist Foundation is the philanthropic arm of Truist Financial Corp. We're the 7th largest financial institution in the country with over $500 billion in assets and 2,000 branches. So I know we were excited this morning. We got t-shirts from the Bulls. I don't have any t-shirts. But I am based in Charlotte, North Carolina, most recently. Yes, Carolinians. And because we're in Chicago, who would be the most iconic person that Social Innovation Summit could bring to the stage? You know him as number 23. He used to own the Hornets. He just sold them out. So it is with great pleasure that I bring to the stage, get ready. Somebody's already saying no. That was going to be my little joke. Michael Jordan, yes. I have not seen him since I've been in North Carolina, but that would have been so awesome. Social Innovation Summit next time, Michael Jordan. So this morning's theme was about inspiring and action. So this afternoon, it's about urgency now. And so when we think about the work that's before us as funders, philanthropists, social innovators, social impactors, the time is now to be agile. We're facing some very critical challenges as a funding source to support our communities, because I really do believe that everybody in here, based on all these young people I've met, want to give back to our communities. Is that a fact? All right. So with that, one of the quotes that I think about when I think of the urgency of now is by Dr. Martin Luther King. And it says, "We are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. This is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action." Who believes in this room that they have the agility to be positive, vigorous, and intentional in your action? Clap for me. To meet the urgent need of today, just based on your applause, I know that you are linking arms with other funders, philanthropists, and community-based organizations to do this critical work in this time, in this today moment. So for the Truist Foundation, we're about 5 years old. For those who don't know who Truist is, we merged with another bank in the South. We were formerly headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and they said, "Blow up the foundation, Lynette. Start over. Paint the town purple." Purple happens to be our color. And I said, awesome. So like any good bank, what did I do? I hired a consultant. They actually happen to be here today. Hey, Lakshmi. We hired a consultant to really determine what happens. And so when we started looking at how we were investing before, we were grant making before, please don't misunderstand me, but we were scattering seeds, not by driving concentrated impact, not being intentional. And so open our foundation. January 2020, the pandemic happened. We thought we were ready to go, getting our strategy together. We had to recalibrate and do rapid response, as many of you had to do, to address all those critical needs that were happening because of this pandemic. But we did finally land in a place that we think is intentional and is critical in making a change in our communities. So our 2 strategic pillars were building career pathways to economic mobility, again, focused on adult learners. And this was not just about a workforce development program, but working with those community-based partners that were placing individuals in jobs. We're tracking some of their progress, making sure that they would be successful. The second pillar was strengthening small businesses. And we felt that was the right space because what the pandemic showed was that 65% of small businesses who were B2B didn't have the technology, could not interrupt their business to support the needs at the time, and oh, by the way, did not have a plan when you have economic disruptors. And so we were like, this is where we can make a difference. It's not just about access to capital, but how do we support the ecosystem to strengthen those small businesses? So we know that as part of this work, one of the things we like to do is co-create solutions. And so we started an initiative called Where It Starts. So where does change begin? And we found 3 national nonprofits who helped us co-create a solution to drive change in 5 seemingly diverse cities. But what we noticed based on evidence, and we use evidence as our basis to make grant making happen. So as you're building your new models and creating that new mindset, use evidence and research to drive. So the critical cities that we brought them in to help us with that had high poverty, high unemployment, small businesses didn't have the right access, but also could not survive another disruption in our economy. KO, Living Cities, and Main Street America. The beauty of those organizations is that they get on the ground with current organizations who are already working in those spaces, but help to catalyze growth and development. The beauty of those cities is that they also pulled on the public sector, because how many corporate foundations know we cannot do this alone? We cannot. So mayors in Miami, Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Memphis all came together to say, we are going to support this initiative around Where It Starts, and we have all 5 mayors commit part of their public funds to help drive that change. So one output that I'll share with you is that one of the organizations does training for those adult learners and job placement. I went to the graduation, it was at a church. 3 generations of one family got through the program. One got a CNA license and got placed in one of our hospitals in North Carolina. The other 2 went into electrical and HVAC. And the beauty of something about systems change, when you talk about strategy and the work we're doing, systems change happened because 5 employers were at graduation, not looking for a traditional bachelor's resume, but looking for skills-based. And so in Charlotte, executives from every Fortune 100, 500 company are part of a council. And one thing that that council was charged with is systems change. And so they are now instituting skills-based as part of their hiring model versus traditional resumes. So we know that it can work based on what you guys have been doing as well. So as I close, risk-taking is how we as funders, foundations, and social impact investors meet challenges and urgencies of the moment, which is now. Using that innovative approach is so critical to address disruptions. We need to eradicate systems change and deliver clear and profound movements of change that will impact our communities. This conference gives us that opportunity to engage, connect, and build upon Dr. King's word that the moment is now. So as we are faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. So since I couldn't bring Michael Jordan, I'm gonna try that. I want you all, I believe in affirmations. How many people believe in affirmations? I try to do them every morning. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If I had a hot flash most of the night. But I want you to repeat after me. So this session, because we got some great speakers coming behind me. Let's do this 3 times, like we were cheering and got those t-shirts. The urgency is now. The urgency is now. The urgency is now. The urgency is now. Awesome, thank you. Give yourselves a hand. Now, to start this session, I am pleased to invite to the stage Edith Yoakley, a violinist from the Chicago Sinfonietta, to kick things off with a symphony of inclusive impact. Edith.